Guys, so I'm gonna start this video off right here. This is where I find myself sometimes editing. It's quiet, especially if it's the end of the day and I'm trying to find somewhere, to work, or I'm coming in from somewhere else. Anyway, I find myself editing in the passenger seat of my truck sometimes. Anyway, I'm gonna start the video off with an apology. So you can guess, if you watched the last video, the first video in this little two-part Battle in Bama video series, that we had some issues while we were there. And if you pay attention to Instagram and Facebook, you know kind of what's going on with that. But I didn't get around and film and do interviews, or a lot of interviews, like I wanted to do. However, I do think some of the content that I got while I was there on Saturday is quality stuff. So I'm making a video out of it for you guys. I hope you guys dig it. But if you're looking for a video that is so well done, so expertly done, always is, super consistent every single time, and has a ton of trucks that were at the Battle in Bama show, you want to go check out Grinder TV's coverage of Battle in Bama 2020. I'll drop a link down in the description. Just go take 20 minutes, I think it's somewhere in that range, and just go watch that video. You will love it. You can even leave this video, go watch it, and then come back and finish watching this one. I'm gonna just start right here, apologize, tell you guys I wish I would have done a better job and gotten more truck footage, more interviews, and more of the shenanigans that typically happen in a lot of these shows. But we had some issues with our AC and our camper, and I had my family with me, and that was first priority. So I had to take care of that. And what that meant is I only got to spend a few days at the show on Saturday, and we were scheduled to be somewhere else on Sunday. But I got a great interview on the 76 Sport truck. I think you're gonna dig it. And we've got some other stuff we're gonna show here too, so definitely check that out. But I wanted to start the video with an apology and ask for a little grace. So we're gonna jump in to the Battle in Bama 2020 video right here. Morning.
What's up, homie?
You ready for this?
I think I'm ready.
Dude, it's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be hot.
They kicked y'all around. Oh, it's gonna be 106 degree heat index.
Yeah.
I'll see you in a minute.
All right.
Morning. When you're on your way out the gate to try to get a generator, you gotta deal with all this. No way out, only one way in. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. Catching you in the act this time. Okay, folks, so we got the 2 generators up and going. We got it set on 68, but check out the inside temp in here. 90 degrees. So the 2 2200 watt generators seem to be doing it. We got the refrigerator back on. We got lights on. Sarah's.
I'm sweating. My bread is sweating.
And we're all just having a real struggle. Started about 2:30 this morning with what was a generator that was not enough wattage. So
yeah, but it like worked flawlessly for 5 hours.
It worked flawlessly for 8.5 hours, and then all of a sudden it just couldn't keep up anymore. So we're gonna take it back, and I'm gonna forewarn you that if you have an Airstream and you're trying to do 13,500 BTUs and run other things, you do not need the Honda EU3000i. You need the Honda EU2200 companion set. So you buy both of those, the parallel cable. It's exactly the same amount of money, and you get 1,400 more watts. You get a little bit more maneuverability with the two generators because they're lighter. Each one of them are lighter. But if you're trying to run your refrigerator, if you're trying to run lights, if you're trying to plug in your phones, you're gonna need more than and run the AC, you're gonna need more than 3,000 watts. So RV newbie lesson, you know, 1,000. That's where we are. We'll tell you more about it tomorrow, but in case we don't, this is our attempt. Oh, TTR, the man.
What's happening, man?
What's up, dude? Thanks for holding it down.
Hey, yeah. Dude, that's why, dude, I was selling shirts stupid cheap. Stupid cheap.
How we gonna pay for these bills?
Normally 25. I had them on sale $24.99. Get you a deal.
I don't think we're gonna need to let him do this anymore. We're gonna leave this to Amanda and Emily. Walker Tune, son.
What's up, man?
What's up, man?
How you doing?
Y'all doing good? How'd Francis do?
She did good on the trailer.
Oh yeah, that's right. She did real good. How'd the Duramax do?
16 miles per gallon.
Woo! Can't wait to put a Duramax in the crew cab. You ready to do that? Duramax swap in the crew cab?
When have
I think we just announced it right here.
When have I ever said no to you?
Not very often.
So you already know I'm in.
Yeah, man.
You already know.
Well, let's go film some trucks. You wanna do that?
We're gonna fire up the egg first.
Yeah.
We're gonna eat some burgers, some dogs, and then we're gonna go film trucks.
All right, man. Let's do it.
Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys. Man's so tough, but man's keep walking. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls let it tell me I'm awesome. Yeah, hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch me, please use caution. Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the. Wake up, get out the sheets. We came for war, man, forget my peace. We take the west side, take on the east. I'ma put them in the cage, never let out the. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys. Not so tough, but man's keep walking. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls, let it tell me I'm awesome. Yeah, hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch me, please use caution. Beg, please get on your knees. Came from the jungle, up in the trees. I got a few tricks up in the sleeve. One wrong move, I'ma let out the. Big shoes, check out the crease. Blow like I'm Bigfoot, step on the beat.
Hey,
That's all I had left.
what are you doing?
Eating this dang cotton candy.
How good is it?
Italian ice.
Italian ice. It's all right.
What's up?
We wanted that better flavors, but they were out.
And they gave
What
me
can
a
you do?
discount for being a nurse.
That's
They
right.
gave you a discount for being a nurse? How did they know you were a nurse?
They asked
Did they really?
Yeah,
if we were first responders.
They pegged you.
they knew it.
Appreciate
Got
you.
the nurse look.
She got the nurse look.
Yeah.
I love that. All right, so I'm here with Cody from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Yes, sir.
Man, tell me about this awesome truck you got going.
Well, it's a 1976 C10 Sport Edition. Came with a Scottsdale truck, kind of medium package. Started off as my first truck ever. Going down the road one day, I could just see the back fender of it on the side of the road. I was like, man, I want to go look at that truck. So we made it happen a few months later, went and got it, drove it around. I was 15 years old and 16 years old.
How old are you now?
I'm 18.
18.
So
God,
in between that era, it went from a stock original truck to fully laid out truck. It was nothing special whenever I first got it. It had rust here and there, and you know, I was enjoying it. I was driving around every day. You know, the motor started going bad, so that's when we went to restoring it. You know,
yeah, man.
It was just going to be a basic motor swap. You know, it was just going to be a few things here and there, and then it just started piling up. Yeah, it kept going down. You know.
Speaking of all the things you've done, man, tell me a little bit about suspension, wheels and tires, interior.
Of course,
what you got going, man?
So we wanted to stick with the original kind of deal, so we went with the House of Colors Sunset Pearl paint job and with pearl white stripes, and we got it to match exactly to the true theme of the truck. Nothing would fit as well as, you know, some mob steel, Detroit steel, Del Rey's, powder coated white. You know, makes it look like we got white walls on there.
Oh yeah.
We got 20 by 8s, 20 by 12s in the rear.
20 by 12s in the rear on the step side. Tell me how you fit that.
We had to go with a 94 Explorer rear end, but that almost wasn't enough. We almost had to take the step side and square it off and get rid of the body line, and we just weren't down to do that. So that's when we went and got the Explorer rear end. So we tubbed the bed, and now it fits perfect. Got to keep the body line. It lays frame. It's what we want, you know. We just wanted to keep it simple. Michigan metal control arms up front, extensive 4-link suspension in the rear, MagnaFlow exhaust, comes out right under the step, makes it fit just perfect.
Tell me a little bit about the drivetrain in it.
It started off with the 6.0 LQ9, you know, just a basic build we bought from one of our friends who was selling it for pretty cheap. Took it apart, ran through it, made sure everything was okay. Transmission's a little 4L60, you know, built up a little bit, handles it pretty well. One-piece performance drive shafts to the rear end, 410 gears in it.
That thing's totally dialed, man.
Oh yeah, he'll get up and go when it needs to.
That's cool. One of the other things that really caught my attention is the bed. So tell me a little bit about what you got going on in the bed.
So the bed came straight from Bedwood 3 years ago at Scraping the Coast before we even started building the truck. We bought $300 pine wood, and we bought the no-show strips that are in it right now, and 3 years later, here the truck is. My buddy, the guy that built the truck, he's a fireman. You know, he went and got a hinge off of a fire truck door, just went and got some hydraulic sticks, lift up the bed right there, put a little plaque over the fuel cell so no one sees the fuel cell, and it all started coming together.
Tell me about this interior real quick.
The seat came straight from Snowden, Chris Snowden out of Texas. Sat in one truck, he had a Snowden seat, and it was a life-changing decision. You know, I wanted to go with the basic design, like some waves or a diamond stitch pattern. I kept seeing, like, you know, just random trucks pop up with plaid, and that's whenever I said, you know, I want a plaid seat. It tied together with all the dark colors inside, you know. Everything just flows so perfect with it.
Man, I gotta say, I appreciate you taking the time to tell me about it. It's a really, really cool truck. Before we go, Barry Davison says hi. He loves this truck. He's talked to me about this truck and said, hey, you gotta film it when you get the chance. We tried to get connected at Southeastern Truck Nationals. It didn't work out.
Barry Davison is the one that sent me up there, you know. The truck debuted at Scraping, blew up on the internet after Scraping. Barry Davison found me on Facebook and Instagram. He hit me up. He was like, man, you got to come up to Southeastern Truck National. So I looked it up. It was in Tennessee, almost a 10-hour haul for me. And I was like, man, that's a little far. I was like, I don't know about that. It's the second show ever. Maybe I just got lucky at Scraping. And he's like, dude, if I can drive down to Scraping the Coast to see you, you can drive up to Tennessee. I'm not even from Mississippi, so I still had to drive there. But, you know, I figured it was last minute whenever we decided to leave. We packed up on a Friday night, drove all through the night, got in at around 1:30 in the morning. We were at the show that morning, and it was amazing. Definitely go back to it. It was a great vibe, great feel.
Sounds good, man. Thanks for the time. I appreciate it.
What's going on the Green Egg? Chef Ron has decided that he's going to cook us some gourmet lunch at 3:40 in the afternoon.
All All right, guys, so look who I found in, where are we? Mobile, Alabama. What's up, Mike?
What's up, man?
Man, I know I've seen this in the shop and you've been working on this pretty hard, but you gotta tell me what's up with this exhaust on this GSI chassis because it looks killer.
Cool. Thanks, man. So we finished the exhaust a couple weeks ago. 3-inch stainless, put a set of turn downs on it, spoiler attack mufflers on it. Really complements the Ultimate headers. Hopefully it's gonna sound really killer, man.
Yeah, I think it will. The Ultimate headers look awesome, man. And I absolutely love mufflers outside the rail, and then dumped them, you know, right there under that 9-inch. It's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, the customer wanted a hot rod type feel for the truck, so he wanted me to dump it right at the axle, so that's what we did.
Heck yeah, man. Well, it looks awesome. I'll see you back in Georgia, brother.
All right, man. See ya.
You know it's hot out here when TTR taking a nap. Cue the music.